Hi, this is me, Natasha Aristov, class of 1976, and I am celebrating, I think, the 150th anniversary of our graduation from high school.
Hi, my name is Dina Olivas, and I am from class of 1981. This is my 45th year reunion.
Hi, I'm Teresa McCarthy Cotner, class of 1981.
Hi, we're class of 91 and we just finished attending the IH annual bingo. Woo! I'm Diana Rose.
I'm Louise Sonko.
I'm Millicent Guillada de Jesus.
And I'm Anne-Marie Sauer-Hale.
35-year reunion. Woohoo!
Hey Panda people, it's Annie Benino-Britch from the class of 2016 celebrating our 10-year high school reunion today. I cannot believe that it's 10 years already.
Hi, I'm Peggy Sowers Morris from the class of 1971. I'm also a former president of the Immaculate Heart High School Alumni Association, a job I so enjoyed.
Hi, it's Sandy Raffi, now Vanyan, class of 1986. I can't believe it's been 40 years.
Hi, my name is Shamel Graham, and I'm from the class of 1996. And this year, can you believe it, ladies? We are celebrating our 30th year class reunion. 96, woo woo, 96, woo woo. That's one of the silly things that we used to do when we were at Immaculate Heart, and we still do it sometimes in jest when we get together for drinks or dinner or to hang out. We always reminisce on the fun, silly things we used to do.
Hi, my name is Hias Carr. I am the ASB Commissioner of Publicity for the class of 1996, and we are celebrating our 30th high school reunion this year. I cannot believe it has been 3 decades since I was a 6th grader sitting nervously in the same auditorium waiting for the middle school orientation to start. I didn't know a single person here, and I remember looking around thinking to myself, there's a lot of girls going to this school. I didn't know it was an all-girls school at the time until about 5 minutes into the welcome speech. Fun fact, I thought I was going to the same public middle school as my elementary school friends until that one summer day my mom dropped me off at this beautiful campus for this orientation. So thanks for the surprise, Mom. But in all seriousness, I have and do still sincerely thank her for that choice.
I have to say, some of the most memorable times at Immaculate Heart are related to those pivotal events and rites of passage related to Queen's Day, getting my class ring, and the opportunity to participate in such things as the plays like The Wizard of Oz.
Graduating at the Hollywood Bowl.
Junior ring night, and I'm super excited. We just celebrated my daughter's junior ring night.
Oh, IH walks along Las Feliz Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
Mary's Day.
Oh.
And of course the Hollywood Bowl. My daughter's graduating this year, so it's going to be extra special again. So excited to be on the stage, but this time as a mom alumni.
Yay!
For the second time.
My niece graduated along with your daughter too.
Yes.
So a lot of family traditions here and over at IH.
Yes, and I have a daughter who is a junior. My other one's a junior in college, and so 4th generation Candace. Super excited.
Millicent! And I have a daughter who's a sophomore.
2 years.
Yay! 2 more years of this, right?
Yes.
Anyways, goes fast.
Some of my cherished memories and fond memories of my time at Immaculate Heart are Class Day and Mary's Day, because that is the time we really got to work with our peers and make posters, come up with dances, choose songs, and it really was a fun time for connection.
I'm so grateful to have been able to go to Immaculate Heart. I appreciate my parents sending my sisters and myself there. I appreciate them believing in the Immaculate Heart nuns in spite of, or maybe because of, all the troubles they went through in the 60s.
Hands down, my favorite memory of the class of 1996 actually happened on this very quad and can be summed up with 2 words: senior shirts. So as a class, we had voted on design done by a very talented artist in our class, and the design was rejected by the administration for being too provocative. Needless to say, we didn't agree, and we were quite upset by the decision. So we just kind of figured, okay, no shirts this year then. A very wise economics teacher who looked very much like Abraham Lincoln, you know who I'm talking about, sparked an idea by saying, just because you can't officially have these shirts doesn't mean you can't have these shirts. As a class, we coordinated finding a printer, gathering everybody's sizes, collecting money, and covertly distributed them from the trunk of our cars after school in the lower parking lot. And even though the class of 1996 was comprised of a diverse group of over 100 girls with different backgrounds, personalities, and friend groups, that day we came together as a class and all wore the shirts the last free dress day of senior year. So imagine the entire class of 1996 eating lunch on this grassy quad right below the administration office in our band senior shirts. So on the surface, it looked like a regular teenage moment of defiance, but looking back, it really was a testament to the spirit of the history of Immaculate Heart, of rebel nuns that paved the way for us to be strong, independent women of heart that we all are today. I am very happy to be able to call myself an Immaculate Heart Panda along with all of you.
I still have a lot of my, what the kids call it, swag these days from Immaculate Heart. So like my sweatshirt from a walk, sweatshirt from another walk, and I still wear these very proudly. Immaculate Heart was such a cherished and unique time to bond with other young ladies who were ambitious, but had heart and were compassionate and were activists in their own right in their respective, what's now become their respective career fields. And I think that's so important that the education at Immaculate Heart really taught us to be astute citizens, to be active, to let our voice be heard, to be compassionate, but to be go-getters, fierce fighters. We are women of heart, and you recognize each other in the community every day.
When people ask about my biography and then I say, well, I went to a Catholic all-girls school, then they roll their eyes and think I must have been miserable and repressed. And then it's always fun to turn them around and say, no, we were a very worldly school. We had very progressive nuns, a very progressive education. And it was a time when I could develop as a human being. You can always develop as a gender being, I don't know. For me, that was happening. But since I was insecure about my gender, I mean, I remained female, but I was insecure about my femininity, let's say that, and my attractiveness. I was spared that by being among you, where that didn't play a role. And I wanted that for the same for my daughter.
The teachers and faculty here have made such lasting impacts on me, and I'm sure on hundreds of other young girls. I'm sure that each one of us has had one or more teachers here that have inspired us in various ways. My favorite teacher was my middle school English teacher, the late Mrs. Lucille Rader. She inspired my love of literature and creative writing, and also taught me the valuable lessons of critical thinking and also how to write a great essay, which I still use in my everyday life, especially my work emails, when I really want to get my point across. Because of Mrs. Rader, I never forgot the importance of a strong, supporting argument to my central idea. Another one of my favorite teachers was Mr. Jeff McClellan, who retired just recently. He was a newer teacher at the time and taught our first ever AP Computer Science class when I was a senior. At the time, the internet wasn't widely used or very popular, and we're the last generation that lived in both just analog and also in the digital world. That class was the catalyst to my interest in technology, and I believe it led me to my profession in digital marketing, which I've been in for the last 20 years.
The school has asked me to talk about my favorite teacher. Well, can't do that because I have two. The first being Sister Ruth Ann. Sister Ruth Ann was my senior homeroom teacher and also world religions teacher. She was a wonderful and funny and charismatic woman of faith, and I so appreciated her. She also taught our class, well, my section specifically, not to give away all your secrets because we were doing raffle sales. And Ruth taught us, do not turn in all your money until the very last day, because she wanted our section to win the pizza party. Well, guess what? We won. She was so happy about it. My second favorite teacher is Terrence Fleet. Rest in peace, Terry. Terry taught at Immaculate Heart when I was there, and I was in his very first class that he taught. It was wonderful. It was a mythology class, in fact, and he taught us to think outside of the box, be imaginative, and he was also so kind and caring. He was a great guy.
Mr. Van Vliet, of course, Miss Rader. I still tell my son to this day, as we work with him on his writing, of how hard I had to work to get an A over a B+ in Miss Rader's class, and that was a cherished accomplishment.
One of the areas that I would say Immaculate Heart helped me the most in was developing a voice. Through my classes, through some of the wonderful professors and teachers that I had, I learned about what my values were and how those were consistent with values related to social justice. I would say that my religious education at Immaculate Heart was the most foundational in developing my sense of justice, compassion, and the role that I have in this world. Received the Mother You Carry award, and Maria Reinhardt and I both received that. And it was a school award that really talked about being of service to the community, not only the Immaculate Heart community, but the community at large. It was a great honor to receive that. And my brothers just teased me like no tomorrow. They called it the Mother You Care a Lot award. Now my parents told them to stop teasing me, but I'll never forget that.
I want to encourage each and every one of you to work on a reunion committee. For our 50th reunion, we were able to raise $50,000 from 50% of our class, which was what our goal was. So I encourage you to get out there and get on a committee, whether it be through high school or through college, but get involved, because there's nothing like seeing the joy on your fellow classmates when they see you and they haven't seen you forever and a day.
Oh my gosh, my Immaculate Heart journey. I love all my Panda sisters, and I swear you have shaped me to be the independent, strong woman that I am. What an adventure.
Mostly, I just really appreciate so many great women role models, the sisters and the rest of our teachers, and each other. I really just grew a lot from hanging out with all the girls.
IH taught us to have a lot of confidence in ourselves and the importance of sisterhood.
IH taught us to feel grounded, compassionate, and empowered.
IH taught us to have a voice.
IH taught us to be empathetic and lead with our hearts.
I just want to say how proud I am of our class and all of the undergraduate degrees and masters and even doctorates that we're celebrating. And somewhere in the auditorium, you might find my mother. So tell her that you say hello, and I'm sorry to miss you, but I love you all and I hope that you're well. And I hope to catch you at the next reunion.
And so I really want to say cheers to 30 years. It's been an amazing time. I can't believe it. I'm excited to be here to celebrate with you all and with all the other classes.
I'm filled with joy when I think of any of you and of all of us.